Part 51. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jung Word. Chapter 501. Chapter 501 Lu Jing's Three Views. Lan Min was speechless for a moment. I'm sorry auntie, she didn't understand anything and she said the wrong thing. My nephew is here to apologize to you on her behalf. Lu Jing hurried to Lan Min's side after hearing Sun Ying'er's words. Lu Jing felt that he had to get rid of his habit of talking nonsense. Don't think that he doesn't know that these two women just want to catch his fault, and then come to blackmail him and embarrass him. You have to know how someone as smart as him could give these two women a chance. Lan Yan looked at Lu Jing in disbelief. It's like you don't know the person. It's not that I don't understand, it's that I don't have any compassion. I said why Baikan loves me now, it turns out it's the reason. Sunian sat on the sofa and said casually, with a look of vicious female supporting character on his face. Signature smile. Lan Min, Sunian, what do you mean? I'm just telling the truth. What's wrong? Am I right? You don't understand anything, so don't say anything. You acted so righteously just now. If you didn't know, you would have thought that I was an unforgivable sinner. Man, haha, but the reality is that you are ignorant. As a vicious female supporting character, of course you should never be soft when stepping on the heroine. Lan Min looked at Sunian, who was aloof, and her heart seemed to be suppressed by a stone. She didn't understand why someone like Sunian, who clearly had everything, wanted to rob her and everyone around her. Why is it not enough for you to rob Baikan? Come and rob Lu Jing, what do you want to do to be satisfied? Hearing Lan Shi's accusation, Lu Jing felt excited. It seems that he was right to get close to Sunian. Only with competition can people think that he is a hot commodity. Why, when I answer your why, you first answer my why. Why did you keep saying that you were Li Baikan's sister before, but you used me to love him and wanted a kidney from me? As the person you hate, just being close to your friend makes you feel so uncomfortable. What about me, when you forced me to write on the donation agreement, did I feel uncomfortable? These words immediately stunned everyone around me. As someone who deeply loves Lan Min, Lu Jing couldn't help but complain when he heard this. It does seem a bit cruel. Lu Jing's words immediately aggravated the atmosphere. Saving one life is better than building a 7-level pagoda. You are just a kidney. You are the eldest lady of the Su family. You have no influence at all. The people around looked at Lan Mi and such looks really made Lan Min very uncomfortable. Comfortable? Sunian is different from her. Sunian is the eldest daughter of the Su family. She has been well dressed and well fed since she was a child, as if she can get anything she wants as long as she wants it. As for myself, I didn't have such a good family background and lived at the bottom of society. In the end, I didn't even have a body. After saying this, Lan Ji looked around, hoping to see the sympathy and pity in the eyes of the people around him as usual, but for some reason, there was none this time. That's right, no. Why is this happening? Lan Min looked around in horror. She felt something had changed, but she couldn't tell what it was. Jian'er, how can you think like this? Sunian doesn't owe you anything, and has nothing to do with you. Helping you is a matter of friendship, and not helping you is a duty. If it's not just a kidney, why can you say such a thing? If it's really that easy, then just go find someone on the street. Although Lu Jing loves Lan Min, he still has 3 views. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jung Word. Chapter 502. Chapter 502, how about I make an appointment with a brain doctor for you? Show you? Sun Ying'er couldn't help but look at Lu Jing with admiration. Why did this guy suddenly become so smart? Lan Yan, Let's go back to the topic just now. If I donate the 10 million that Lu Jing gave me to the orphanage, I can help a lot of children. If it is true according to your theory, saving a life is better than creating a life. 7-level pagodas, then I don't know how many pagodas there are, but there is no shortage of 7 pagodas like yours. Sunian felt really good when he said this. You must know that she has long been fed up with this orchid man who always keeps saying that saving a life is better than building a 7-level pagoda, and is trying to kidnap her morally. Haha, especially in the previous life. Lanji was a little panicked for a moment. Because after Sunian said this, she found that she didn't know what to say in the future, how to ask Sunian to donate to her, and what to do if Sunian didn't donate to her. She is still so young. Sunian, no, what you said is wrong, Lan Min shouted crazily. This is not right, it was never like this before, this is not right, it was not like this. Why am I wrong? Could it be that your life is life and the life of your children is not life? Lan Min, tell me how you are nobler than children. You have the responsibility to save the world. If there is anything else, tell me. Everyone is here now, tell me. Actually, Sunian had wanted to say this for a long time. All living beings are equal. What qualifications does she have to donate her kidneys and sacrifice her body? Saving one life is better than building a 7-level pagoda. This is all bullshit. It's nothing more than finding a so-called moral high ground and then starting to say something beneficial. She had seen through the true nature of this so-called heroine in her previous life. Now I can expose her personally. It can be regarded as giving her a bad breath. Lu Jing couldn't stand it any longer, so he stepped forward and grabbed Lan Min, then dragged her away. Sun Ying'er came to Sunian's side. I want to say some words of comfort. But Sunian smiled before she said anything. Sister, don't say comforting words, I have looked away a long time ago, and everything has changed now. She can't hurt me, and I will also give everything back to her, so that she can have a taste of everything she has experienced. When she said this, Sunian paused for a moment. I will also give her your share, by the way. Sun Ying'er saw Sunian smile and felt that she shouldn't say words of comfort. Real comfort would only make the person who hurt them pay the price. Lan Min, who was pulled out by Lu Jing, panicked. Lu Jing, did you hear that? Sunian won't donate a kidney to me. Sunian wants me to die. I don't want to die. You can think of a way. Lu Jing looked at Lan Min for the first time. He felt that there was something wrong with Lan Min's head. Hey, loving someone means being tolerant of everything about them. Now that she is like this, he feels that he has the obligation to reshape her outlook. Lanji, Sunian doesn't owe you anything at all. It's none of her business even if you don't want to. She has no obligation to donate money to you. Let me analyze it for you. If you and Li Baikan don't know each other, then you and Sunian have nothing to do with each other. They are just strangers. Now go to the street and ask that stranger if he will give it to you. Donating a kidney is not possible either. But I will die. Lan Min looked at Lu Jing in disbelief. I said that if you die and you go to the Lord of Hell to file a complaint, Sunian will not be blamed. Do you want to just watch me die? Lu Jing had a headache. What does this have to do with watching you die? Sunian doesn't want to donate a kidney to me now. Lu Jing. Jian'er, how about I make an appointment with a brain doctor for you? Let's take a look. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 503. Chapter 503. Ji'er, did you cover the wrong place? Lu Jing's words made Lan Min look in disbelief. Lu Jing, however, was minding his own business and continued, Jian'er, you are really worried about me. You are still so young. What if something happens to you? Don't worry, I will definitely ask the best person to help you. A good psychiatrist will treat you and you will definitely be cured. After saying this, Lu Jing held Lan Min's hand affectionately. Bo, don't worry, even if you have a mental problem or a brain problem, I will not give up on you. Lu Jing felt that Lan Min must be very moved by him now. After all, under such circumstances, he still didn't dislike her and stayed by her side without any regrets. Ha ha ha. And Lan Min really can't even cry now. Although she had always known that Lu Jingxi was a bit special, she never thought that he would be so special at this time, which made Lan Nian want to get angry at Lu Jing, but Lan Nian's only reason told her that she couldn't get angry now. If he really gets angry, he can only make Su Nian laugh. But psychiatry. So what else can Lan Min do? He can only say, Lu Jing, my spirit is fine. I was just stimulated by Su Nian. If your spirit is really fine, how could you be stimulated by Su Nian? I just told you so much, but you still didn't listen, Lu Jing said with a serious face. Ji Un'er, he is a kind person. If you don't have mental problems, how could you not understand? And people with mental problems never feel that they have problems. At this point, Lu Jing immediately let go of Lan Min's hand. And he took out his mobile phone and ordered to call his subordinates. I ask you to find me the best psychiatrist in the shortest possible time. Yes, 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 I want the best psychiatrist in the world. But when Lan Ji saw Lu Jing like this, he thought of something. If Lu Jing can find the best psychiatrist in the world, why can't he find a doctor who can treat him? Lan Min knew very clearly that he had to survive. After Lu Jing hung up the phone, she planned to tell Lu Jing about this matter. But he didn't expect that Lu Jing actually dialed another number, and after the call was connected, he had a smile on his face. Miss Sun, please tell Aunt, she is mentally abnormal. The best psychiatrist in the world has been arranged. Don't worry, this will never happen again. Lan Min suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. Who did you call? Sun Ying you made a mistake like that. I must call you to apologize. What's wrong? Lu Jing said calmly. After all, children know that they have done something wrong and said the wrong thing and need to apologize. There is nothing wrong with him paying for the mistakes of the woman he loves. Ji Un'er, don't worry. I'll take care of Su Nian's side. I'll make a good apology and make sure everyone calms down. We just want to be honest people. If we do something wrong, we do something wrong. Just apologize immediately. These words completely made Lan Min breathless, and she covered her heart tightly. Lu Jing suddenly became anxious when he saw this. Ji Un'er, you are my most beloved woman. I am willing to do anything for you. There is no need for you to be so moved, really. And why are you covering your heart? Ji if I remember correctly, you should have a kidney problem. Why are you covering your heart now? Are you covering the wrong place? End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 504. Chapter 504 Su Nian's Sai. Su Nian donated the money Lu Jing gave him with great fanfare. Even shamelessly let the media report it. There is no other way, the vicious female supporting role wants this kind of card. This made Su Nian particularly happy. Seeing Su Nian so happy, Li Baikan couldn't help but said, how about I ask Josu to organize a foundation for you? Su Nian, who was humming a tune next to him, almost choked on his saliva when he heard this. I am happy not because I do good things, but because I feel good about tricking others. Hey, okay, do I still expect this guy to understand what I'm thinking? I think you will definitely not get money from them again. You can put all the money you get here in the future, which will also benefit people. These words successfully made Su Nian's eyes suddenly light up. She also understood what Li Baikan meant. Yes, if I set up a foundation, show an attitude that I want to defraud them of their money in the long run, and do more publicity, then I would be considered a fool, ha ha ha. And the heroine Mary Sue has a sentimental character with this foundation. She will definitely be more worried. I am worried that I, the vicious heroine, will come up with some vicious plans to get money from the men who love her. Baiken, you are so smart, I didn't even think of it. Sunian stood up and walked towards Lee Baiken. Lee Baiken liked to be looked at by Sunian with slightly admiring eyes. When it comes to vanity, well, he admits that he has a little bit of so-called vanity. By the way, setting up a foundation can be regarded as doing good deeds, so I can also be regarded as accumulating virtue for the unborn Mo. He, using other people's money to do good deeds, and then accumulating virtue for myself. This theory sounds a bit awkward. Thinking of that brat again. Lee Baiken sighed helplessly. It seems that we still need to work harder. Then he stood up, walked to her, and held Sunian in his arms as she stopped. We are husband and wife, the closest people in the world, so there is no difference between my thoughts and your thoughts, they are all the same. Sunian came back to his senses and nodded. Lee Baiken pressed the internal line to call someone to give instructions. However, when Sunian saw that it was not Josu who came in, he asked curiously, by the way, why haven't you seen Josu in the past few days? Where has he gone? Lee Baiken paused when he heard this, and then said naturally, Josu went back for a blind date, so he asked me for a few days off. What's wrong? Is there anything you can do? It's nothing, I'm just curious. It's really time for Josu to start a family at this age, but his own conditions are pretty good, so he shouldn't need a blind date. I don't know about this. I remember that in my previous life, Josu seemed to have to wait a few years before getting married. What was going on? After the big enemy Lee Baiken died in his previous life, Josu stopped being a secretary and instead helped me stabilize the branch. Although he didn't have much contact with me, he helped me deal with a lot of troubles. It was for this reason that it was too late. Mary. I remember that he had 2 sons and a daughter in his previous life, but if he goes on a blind date now, will he still meet his wife in his previous life? You must know that his daughter in his previous life was extremely cute. When I saw Josu's daughter for the first time, I wanted to pick a good man and have another daughter. Lee Baiken. He coughed heavily, interrupting Sunian's chaotic thoughts. It doesn't matter who you choose, you can only have with him if you want to have sex. It feels so uncomfortable to swallow the blade. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Which John Word. Chapter 505. Chapter 505. Sure enough, hard work pays off. Start from the month of your birthday. Sunian has received gifts from various brands. I have to admit that it is really good to be rich. Various brands are racking their brains to send her birthday gifts. When she answered a call from a jewelry brand in front of Sun Ying-er, she was pressed directly by Sun Ying-er. Nian, is today your birthday? Sunian blinked. No, my birthday is at the end of the month, what's wrong? Sun Ying-er said with a straight face, what's the matter? I don't know about your sister's birthday. I'm not a child, and how can I tell you this? Do you want me to hold a loudspeaker and say to you, sister, my birthday is coming at the end of the month? This feels a bit weird. Sun Ying-er thought about it, and it was indeed a bit strange. But for such a big event as her birthday, no one informed her. Sun Ying-er thought of Lee Baiken at this time and couldn't help complaining, forget it, Lee Baiken, why didn't Lee Baiken, the brother-in-law, inform me and kept saying that he regarded me as his sister? Why did he always fall out at the critical moment? The chain is really enough. When Sunian heard this, his expression froze a bit. Sun Ying-er also saw Sunian's expression. Nian, Lee Baiken doesn't know, right? Does he know what the use is? Every year, various brands give me birthday gifts, all kinds of gimmicks, so what if I don't know? I don't care, Sunian said calmly. Sun Ying-er wondered if she should wait and remind Li Baikan. But now she held Sunian's hand, no matter what Li Baikan or whoever thinks, but as a sister, I can't not give you a birthday gift. Don't worry, I will definitely think about it carefully. A birthday present for you. After saying this, Sun Ying-er couldn't stay any longer and left in a hurry. Don't even give Sunian a chance to speak. Li Baikan, who was returning home, happened to run into Sun Ying-er, who was leaving in a hurry. However, Li Baikan was also very puzzled when he saw Sun Ying-er like this, but he thought that Sun Ying-er and Sunian must have thought of some way to torment people, so he didn't take it to heart. When he entered the room, he saw Sunian lying lazily on the sofa. Just when he was about to speak, a woman's lazy voice sounded in his mind. Hey, sister, why are you running so fast? My birthday is not tomorrow, so why are you so anxious? You didn't even give me a chance to say goodbye. Li Baikan is such a smart person. When he heard this, he immediately understood that Sun Ying-er must have known that Sunian's birthday was coming soon, so she left in a hurry to prepare gifts. At this moment, he felt Sunian's gaze cast on him. If my guess is correct, this guy definitely doesn't know my birthday, but in the setting of this novel, he only remembers the birthday of the heroine Lan Min. But judging from his recent behavior, he seems to have changed, and he has stopped licking recently. When Li Baikan heard this, he knew that everything he did was effective. Sure enough, if you pay, you will be rewarded. Li Baikan looked at the little woman's slightly depressed face, with a perfunctory and doting smile on her face. Forget it, I don't expect him to remember my birthday or celebrate it for me after all. I can't be so shameless as to remind Li Baikan that my birthday is coming up at the end of the month. This is really childish. How could he not know? Not only did he know it, he also started preparing early. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Which John Word. Chapter 506. Chapter 506. Hulang was photographed on the beach again. By the way, speaking of the heroine, my birthday seems to be one day apart from Lan Min's birthday. Well, as long as Li Baikan doesn't go to celebrate the heroine's birthday this time. Sunian was immersed in his own complaints. She didn't even realize that there was a hint of displeasure on her face. What are you thinking about? Li Baikan's sudden voice startled Sunian. She subconsciously wanted to stand up. Just ran into Li Baikan's arms. What's going on today? Why are you so enthusiastic? You just throw yourself into your arms. Li Baikan naturally hugged Sunian tightly. Are you thinking of you all the time like me? If you were like me, if it's the same, then don't play with Sun Ying-er, why don't you stay with me? After finishing speaking, Li Baikan kissed Sunian on the cheek. These words successfully made Sunian, who had always regarded himself as cheeky, a little shy. She struggled out of Li Baikan's arms. Didn't I accompany him yesterday? It is said that distance brings beauty, and it may not be as good as this if we are together all the time. Li Baikan smiled. Then he planned to take off his suit jacket and ask the servant to get him a glass of water. When Sunian looked at Li Baikan, he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Actually, even if Li Baikan remembers it, my gift may not be very good. I might have to act awkwardly and act like a surprise. If it's a good birthday, it's better that he doesn't know about it. Li Baikan took a deep look at Sunian. Look down on him, one day he will have to make this little woman's eyes wide open. But the next moment his face turned stiff. You know, Mo Bao prepared a 100-layer cake for me in my previous life. Li Baikan's head was full of black lines. He took out his mobile phone and planned to tell Josu to cancel the cake. Fortunately, he had other preparations. By the way, there are also jewelry. 1 year in my previous life, Mo Bao got me a piece of jewelry, which seemed to be inherited from a royal family abroad. Li Baikan continued to send text messages to Josu. Find jewelry again. Another year, Mo Bao gave me a castle abroad. Mo Bao also invited top designers to design clothes for me. Li Baikan. Why does he feel more and more that that brat is really at odds with him? Don't say that you will fall out of favor after birth. This is the case even before birth. Li Baikan had a headache when he thought of this. Hey, what a surprise he prepared so many days in advance. What kind of thing is this? Is this because he died before he left the army? Sunian had just finished slandering and looked at him, and saw him sighing. Then Sunian said with concern, "What's wrong? Why do you look so expressionless?" "Nothing, I just thought that I was giving instructions to Josu about some work matters." "Baikan, didn't you say that Josu went on a blind date recently? Why are you still giving instructions to Josu?" Sunian asked doubtfully. Li Baikan stiffened slightly when he heard this, but he still said calmly, "Although Josu went on a blind date, he is my personal secretary after all, and he is still responsible for some things. After all, his salary is not low." At this time, Josu, who was checking things shipped from abroad, sneezed. He rubbed his nose and took out his phone. I was stunned when I saw the content on my phone again. What does it mean to cancel all these things? Is there a crisis in the relationship between Li Baikan and Sunian? No way. Li Baikan changed his mind again so quickly? Why is the world changing so fast? End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 507. Chapter 507. Lu Jing has no merits. Lu Jing has no merits as a person. Means to be serious. So these days, he has been guarding Lan Min. Watching psychiatrists treat her. Determined to cure Lan Min. These past few days have really made Lan Min miserable. After all, Lan Min didn't dare to refuse. If she didn't cooperate honestly, Lu Jing would go to Sunian and the others without hesitation. Such medical facilities made Lan Ji couldn't help but ask, "Lu Jing, can you help me find some doctors to treat my body? I can only be a doctor who finds psychotherapy, but why are you anxious about this? I thought you were not anxious." Lan Min might not be in a hurry before, but in this situation, how could she not be in a hurry? She must have a healthy body to be able to fight Sunian. Only then could she take back everything Sunian had taken away from her. "You didn't agree to Li Baikan at first. I thought you didn't care. Now Li Baikan has already said hello and won't allow those doctors to treat you, otherwise they will be against him." Lan Min suddenly felt a pain in his heart. Li Baikan really did this cruelly. Does he really want to die? "Jian'er, you have been okay for such a long time after you were diagnosed with kidney problems. Just be patient. When I develop the Lu family more than the Li family, you will be saved." Lan Jing looked at Lu Jing with a sincere face. Why does she feel like she won't be able to survive that day? At this time, the psychiatrist came again. Lan Min was once again surrounded by psychiatrists. Looking at these expressionless psychiatrists, Lan Min's body trembled. "I don't have a problem, I really don't have a problem, you go away." And her appearance caught Lu Jing's eyes, and successfully made Lu Jing frown. "What's going on? Didn't you tell me yesterday that her condition was much better? Why is she in this state today? If you can't cure it, if it's good, then you'll have to bear the consequences." The doctors fell silent when they heard this. But Lan Zhen was really desperate. Although she knew that Lu Jing had a bit of a temper, she never thought that he would get involved in this matter. Lan Ji couldn't help but want to say something. But before Lan Min could say anything, he was blocked by Lu Jing. Jian'er, don't worry, no matter what happens, I will be by your side, guarding you like this, always guarding you. Then the psychiatrist surrounded her and continued to provide her with various psychological counseling. Lu Jing, who was standing by, felt bored after standing there for a while. Although guarding the woman he loves is what a man should do, it doesn't mean that he can't feel bored, right? At this time, Lu Jing thought of Sunian and Sun Ying-er. These two women are really heartless. He has given them so many benefits and bought so many things. It has been several days and he has not appeared in front of them. These two women have not even made a phone call. Lu Jing felt that he still had to take the initiative. Anyway, I seem to be idle now. Lu Jing took out his cell phone and made a call. After a while, Lan Zhen heard Lu Jing, who had been staying by his side before, say, "What, you are choosing a birthday gift for Sunian? Sunian's birthday will be in a while? Oh, why don't you give it to me? Say, where are you now? I will come to you right away." Lan Min turned his head and saw Lu Jing's back hurriedly leaving. It makes her look like a joke. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Which John Word. Chapter 508. Chapter 508 Sun Ying-er's Madness. Sun Ying-er regretted it. I regret why I speak so quickly. Inform Lu Jing about Sunian's birthday. Let this guy get involved with you. Sun Ying-er looked at the guy in front of her with indignation. Are you done yet? Lu Jing, it's not over. Sun Ying-er. Now Sun Ying-er really wants to beat this guy. When Sunian tricked Lu Jing before, she felt a little sympathetic to this guy. But now she regrets it. The reason for this was when she was choosing a gift just now. As soon as he picked up something, this guy said next to him, "Does Sunian like this thing? Does her taste have such weird taste? No wonder I can't please her." Picking up another piece of clothing, he added, "This dress is not good. A month ago, a prostitute wore this dress and then hooked up with me. Sun Ying-er now wants to sew this guy's mouth shut." She gritted her teeth and said to Lu Jing, "Master Lu, if you don't speak, no one will treat you as a mute." This gnashing of teeth really made Lu Jing sigh. A woman's heart is like a needle in the sea. You were fine just now, why did you get so excited after saying a few words? Ms. Sun, what do you mean by this? You are my elder after all. What are you talking about when you are so sarcastic to a junior like me? It will be bad for your reputation if word spreads about it. Sun Ying-er, this guy is really addicted to being a junior. Haha, do you really regard me as an elder? Well, if that's the case, then I, as an elder, hope you disappear in front of me immediately. Lu Jing shook his head. Sun Ying-er, don't you regard me as your elder? Since you regard me as your elder, then why don't you even listen to this? I saw Lu Jing say seriously, although I regard you as an elder, you are still a woman no matter what. You women all like to talk sarcastically. If I leave obediently, then you may think that I am neglecting you, then you have to go to Sunian and say bad things about me. Sun Ying-er. Now Sun Ying-er is really becoming more and more curious about what the structure of this guy's brain is. Why can't she understand this guy's weird thinking at all? What on earth was Nuwa doing when she created him? How could she create such a wonderful flower like him? Sun Ying-er took a deep breath, calmed down her mood, and then said to him in a gentle voice, I won't say bad things about you, I just think you think the gift I chose is not good, then you can choose it yourself. I don't want someone with low taste like me to influence you. Who would have thought that when Lu Jing heard this, he waved his hands repeatedly, don't worry, you will never affect me. One of my strengths is my firm stance. For example, Minner has never looked back at me in these years, but I still love you with all my heart. Sun Ying-er, haha. Sun Ying'er had also wondered before why Lu Jing and Lan Min had known each other for so many years, but Lu Jing couldn't impress Lan Min. But now she understands. It would be damning if Lan Zhen could be tempted by this guy. Not only is he stupid, he is also so speechless. Sun Ying'er continued walking expressionlessly. Seeing her like this, Lu Jing knew that he could no longer be a bitch, so he quickly took a book and fanned the person diligently. Miss Sun, I'm sorry, I will never be a again, don't I'm angry, how about I buy everything you just selected? It's almost autumn now, are you fanning me, will I get hot? Children understand things, but you don't understand. Lu Jing's smile suddenly froze. Swallowing blades, it's so uncomfortable. How long will it take to get through this stage? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 509. Chapter 509, Why is this Lu Jing so attentive to Sunian? Lu Jing coaxed Sun Ying'er home with some coaxing. I plan to discuss with Sun Ying'er how to celebrate Sunian's birthday. Auntie, those things are not worthy of Sunian at all. You have to know that this is the first birthday we have celebrated for Sunian. It is very memorable, so you must give her something unforgettable and must be able to reflect your sincerity. The discussion outside my house didn't last long. If you come to my house to discuss it, I can give you the treatment of your ancestors. I bet you won't be able to enjoy this treatment. Sun Ying'er really had a headache listening to these nagging. She wanted to run away too. But this guy actually found a dozen bodyguards to surround her. If you didn't know this posture, you would think that some robbers were robbing people in broad daylight. There was no other way, Sun Ying'er could only follow him. Sun Ying'er, I, Lu Jing, can swear to God that I will never let you come here in vain. I have collected a lot of treasures, all of which are unique. Things that can't be bought outside, you must pick them out and give them to Sunian. Very suitable, really. When Sun Ying'er was crowded into the house, she saw a pale Lan Min sitting in the living room. When Lan Zhen heard Lu Jing's voice again, he stood up immediately. But when she saw Sun Ying'er, her face suddenly stiffened. At this time, Lu Jing called the servant directly, "Go and take out all the treasures I have collected so that Miss Sun can open her eyes." Seeing Lu Jing's posture, Lan Zhen asked curiously, "Lu Jing, what are you doing? With such a big posture, what happened? Or does Miss Sun want something? Can you tell me? Maybe I can give you some advice." Sun Ying'er smiled when she heard this and said, "I'd better tell Miss Sun what she wants." It was as if she was plotting against Lu Jing. Lu Jing was very calm. "It's like this, Sunian's birthday is coming soon, and I want to discuss it with Miss Sun to see what I can give her." Sunian's birthday is coming soon. Lan Min's expression suddenly stiffened. She thought there was something wrong with Lu Jing leaving in such a hurry just now. "Is it because you know that Sunian's birthday is coming soon?" Lan Zhen saw Lu Jing's excited face, and she suddenly felt irritated. Why was Lu Jing so attentive to Sunian, while she was the psychiatrist who arranged for her? Thinking of those doctors, Lan Min felt really upset. Soon the servant came out with some jewelry. One or two, holding bright and luxurious jewelry. The living room in the alley is like a jewelry exhibition. Lan Min was born in a poor family, and she could not help but be dazzled by seeing such scenes. "Ms. Sun, this necklace is top-grade imperial green and costs $80 million. What do you think? And this one is also 60 million. Lu Jing directed people to bring the jewelry to Sun Ying'er. It is quite possible for Sun Ying'er to choose at will. Sun Ying'er glanced at it lightly, not showing much interest. However, she saw Lan Min's fixed gaze and the greed in her eyes. By the way, if I remember correctly, it will be your birthday, Lan Min, in a few days. I don't know what you want. Tell us and give us some reference. Before Lan Min could speak, Lu Jing answered first. She can't give me any reference. She just wants me to say happy birthday, so there's no need to bother. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Zhang Word. Chapter 510. Chapter 510. Why are you still here today? Yes, there is nothing excessive about my birthday, as long as my friends say happy birthday to me. Lan Min's face was gentle and sensible. Lu nodded and said categorically, don't worry, Min'er, I will say happy birthday to you as soon as possible, and I promise not to give you a gift. After all, I prepared a gift for you last year, and you didn't even see it. Take a look, so I know what you care about. Lan Min was stunned when he heard this. The gift Lu Jing gave her last year? Didn't she take a look? Is there still such a thing? Then Lan Min began to remember and tried hard to remember, but no matter how hard she tried to recall, she couldn't remember what Lu Jing's gift was to her. Lan Ji's doubts fell into Sun Ying'er's eyes. Sun Ying'er, what matters is the heart. Lan Min really cares about the heart. On his birthday last year, he called other people's husbands to celebrate his birthday. This feeling is really different. As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere at the scene changed. Lan Min thought of the scene when Li Baikan was by his side on his birthday last year. And this year. At this time, Lan Min remembered that Li Baikan once said that he would accompany him until his 80th birthday, and he might break his promise this year. Moreover, I personally pushed him to another woman. When Lan Min thought of this, he felt really indescribable pain in his heart. That kind of pain is really beyond description in words. Miss Sun, you can't say that. Baikan is my brother. My brother celebrates his sister's birthday. What's the point? Sun Ying'er sneered. I just sighed, but I believe that such a situation will not happen this year. After all, Li Baikan said it himself, his eyes are better and he will not be as blind as before. At this moment, Lan Min is teetering on the edge of collapse, as if a gust of wind could blow it away. Lan Zhen watched Lu Jing Zhangluo choose a gift for Sunian. She thought that after so many years of friendship with Li Baikan and Lu Jing, it was impossible for them to ignore them like this. Just like what Lu Jing is doing now, he may have intended such a big battle. Just to give yourself a surprise when the day comes. Thinking of this, Lan Min immediately felt comfortable, and she also knew that she had to show a magnanimous look. This year, Baikan and Sunian finally got married, which makes me very happy. After all, as my sister, I hope my brother can be happy more than anyone else. Seeing Lan Min's sensible look, Sun Ying'er just sneered, I hope you really think so. In the following time, Lan Zhen saw Lu Jing busy working on Sunian's birthday every day. Selecting gifts here and there. Not satisfied at all. Even during this period, she was not given time to speak. This gave Lan Zhi a bad feeling. Just like that, the time soon came to the day before Sunian's birthday. Sunian opened her eyes drowsily, but before she woke up completely, she was held in a warm embrace. Why are you still here today? Sunian said vaguely with her eyes closed. The reason Sunian said this is because during this period, Li Baikan went out early and came back late. Haven't seen anyone all day long. Plus Sun Ying'er said that he would prepare a perfect gift for her. So she was particularly bored these days. The man's warm kiss fell on her cheek, because after I woke up today, I couldn't bear to leave you when I saw you in my arms, and you are much more important to me than those jobs. In this way, Sunian succeeded in amusing Li Baikan's words. End of this chapter.